What's up everyone, and welcome back to the channel. So today I'm down at Carolina Auto Direct and we get to take a look at the all-new 2022 Cadillac CT5 V Blackwing. So massive shout out to them for providing this sedan for me today. Make sure you guys check out their website because they're always getting in some awesome pre-owned inventory. I'll have that link down in the description. But the CT5 V Blackwing that you see behind me is finished off in electric blue, and they have a starting price in the mid $80,000 range. So we're gonna start off today's review with what powers the CT5 V Blackwing. This comes with a 6.2 liter supercharged V8 paired with the 6-speed manual transmission. It pumps out 668 horsepower around 6,500 RPM and 659 pound-feet of torque around 3,600 RPM. It is rear-wheel drive, weighs in right around 4,100 pounds. It'll do 0 to 60 in 3.6 seconds, 0 to 100 in 7.7 seconds, all the way up to its top speed of just over 200 miles an hour. And it has a fuel capacity of 17 gallons. You can expect to see around 13 miles per gallon in the city and 21 out on the highway. This has a wheelbase of 116 inches. Its overall length is 194.9. It has a width of 74.1 and a height of 56.6 inches. And now as we work our way to the exterior for the all-new CT5 V Blackwing, let's start off with these LED headlights. So you'll see the housing has a really nice sleek design to it. This also has LED turn signals and LED DRLs. The DRLs have a really nice vertical design. You can see them disappear just behind the bodywork, which is very neat for the newer Cadillac models. Just gives it a great distinctive look. And as we move on to the grille now, you can see all of the mesh is in the V design. So that's a great attention to detail. Finished off in gloss black for the surround. And you'll see this model has a forward-facing camera. The Cadillac badge is right in center, of course. And all of the parking sensors are down in the lower section of the bumper. Where you'll also notice too, this has plenty of cutouts down below to provide maximum cooling to this engine. You can see the cutouts on both sides, gloss black on the lower section of the bumper too. It just has a really nice design for this luxury sedan. And you can see there's a few lines coming down the hood as well. And then as we work our way to the side, this model has a really nice set of 19-inch wheels. They're finished off in gloss black. You can see the multi-spoke design to them. We have the body-colored side mirrors with the integrated turn signal, and there's also a camera underneath each one. I'll show that camera system later on in today's video. You'll see there's a small trim piece just behind the front tires, more gloss black that ties it in with the front bumper, of course. And then there's really nice lines that run down the side profile. You can see one that starts at the headlights, goes just above the door handles all the way to the taillights, and we have some nice contoured lines down in the lower section. And then last up in the rear, you can see this has a trunk-mounted spoiler finished off in that electric blue. You'll see the Cadillac badge just underneath that with more gloss black. This has a backup camera with all the parking sensors right in the middle of the bumper. This also comes with LED brake lights. You'll see the turn signals too have a really nice sleek design to them to match up front. Down in the lower section, the reverse light is right in the middle. We have more gloss black and the quad tip dual exhaust. But that wraps up the exterior. Definitely a very beautiful spec, especially being finished off in this electric blue. So let's go ahead and move on to the interior. This is the key fob for the CT5V. We have lock, unlock. You can double tap this button to open up the power trunk. But with the vehicle locked, you'll see the power folding side mirrors are currently in. All I need to do is push on this black button on the back side of the door handle. You'll also see too, there's some illumination on the outside, which is great to see. But if I pull on that, the mirrors will fold out and this will unlock. And now we can take a look at this door panel. You'll see it's primarily finished off in black leather with really nice stitching. We have carbon fiber and brushed aluminum up top. It's on the release handle. You can see lock and unlock. All the memory seating adjustments are just below that, along with all the window controls and the side mirror adjustments. This has a 15-speaker audio sound system. You'll see the release for the trunk, along with one speaker, of course, and a little bit of storage down in the door. And as we move on to the interior, you can see Blackwing and V, along with a name over on the right side. And now looking at these solid black leather seats, you can see they have white piping along with some gray stitching. Really nice design. The V badge is front and center. We have perforations running down them. You can also adjust the forward section of the seat just by pulling on that tab. And then down on the side, you can see all the other automatic adjustments. Now it's time to move on to the interior for this all new Cadillac. You'll see I have the driver door opened up all the way. We have a very low door sill, making it easy to enter and exit. And looking at the steering wheel now, it's completely covered in black leather. We do have a red stripe front and center, along with gray stitching running along the inside. You'll also see the carbon fiber as well as the brushed aluminum accents, and we have the V badge down below. But now it's time to start this up. So with my foot on the brake and the clutch, we have the engine start stop button over on the right side. It's time to fire this up. And you'll see on this large digital gauge cluster, front and center is the miles per hour. You'll see over on the left side is the time as well as the outside temperature. The RPM is also down in the lower left along with the odometer. Over on the right side is the fuel gauge, and then we have more information that we can go through using these controls over on the right side of the steering wheel. And right now you can see it's on maintenance, so you can monitor the oil life. You can scroll over and look at your speed warning, your units, you have your tire pressure, along with the heads-up display. You can go through a lot of this information just to configure it how you'd like to. You do have a simplify, so just by clicking on this, it will basically hide everything on both sides just to give you more of a calm screen. If you click on the enter button again, it will pop back up. If we go over all the way to the left now, you can see phone along with navigation when you have that on and running. There's the audio, the driver assistance, so you can monitor that. And then we have the performance, so you can look at your 0 to 60. There's a lap timer as well. There's also the G-force meter, launch control, which this model does have. You also have all of your distance and your trip information. And then the last one, you can look at some more vitals just by scrolling through all of this. So that way you can keep an eye on everything. If you're taking this to the track or even just in general, you have a lot of information to look at. So it's really nice to see all of that right front and center. You'll see over on the right side too, along with that, we have tuning for the radio, there's volume, and then down below is how to adjust the different driving modes. So just by clicking on that, you can see the performance traction. Where it's inactive right now, I can scroll all the way over and go to wet, dry, and sport, and the exhaust note will actually change too. There's race 1 and race 2, so just depending on how you'd like to drive this vehicle, you have a few different settings. When I go into inactive, the exhaust automatically changes, so it's nice to have those front and center. Over on the left side, you can see the heated steering wheel control as well as the cruise and adaptive cruise control settings. The Cadillac emblem up in the front grille is actually the sensor, so it's nice how that's incorporated. You have Bluetooth and voice commands along with the V button too. That will automatically change the exhaust note, and you can see V mode in the center screen. We have steering, suspension, engine, brake feel, and the engine sound. You can monitor all of that information just by pushing on this button here, which is great to see. Over on the left side, we have all the heads-up display controls along with the electronic parking brake. There's a dimmer switch for the gauges and a small cubby. You'll see one air vent. And then currently with the heads-up display, it's showing the miles per hour as well as the speed limit sign. We have leather covering the entire dash. And then making our way back to this center screen, it is a touchscreen system, or you can use these controls that are down below. Right now on the home screen, you can see audio and phone along with navigation, so we can pull that up in full screen. If you'd like to go home, you can just push this button right in the center, and you'll also see Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. We can swipe over, go into the climate controls, so you can monitor all of that information. You also see Spotify, and this does have the video recorder, so there's a camera up in the top of the windshield. You can use that if you're going on mountain roads or the track or just in general, which is great to see. And if I scroll over to the left side, you can see the split screen for your navigation, your radio, and your phone. There's also some shortcuts down below, along with the home dial right there. And then we have power and volume for the radio on the left side. So it gives you all the information that you need, and it's very easily laid out. As we work our way below that, you can see two air vents along with all of the climate controls, and they're actually in a V. So they're finished off in brushed aluminum and come to a point right at the fan speed. So you can see that toggle switch here along with the temperature for driver and passenger. They will also appear on the upper screen there. You have where you'd like the air to go, a few other recirc buttons, and then just below that, you'll see the heated and ventilated seat controls for driver and passenger. We have the parking sensors that can be turned on and off, along with the lane keeping assist. And then pushing on the 360 camera system, now we can pull up all of those different settings. There's a lot of different angles that we can go through. Currently, this is the forward-facing camera. If I push on it again, now we have full screen for the rear-facing camera. If I move over to this one, now we have a top-down view for the back and a top-down view for the front. The next one is for the side mirrors, so you can look forwards or look backwards. We have the guidelines, which can be turned on and off, and there is a top-down view that you can also use while you're going through these different angles. So it's really nice to have all of that visibility. You definitely don't have any blind spots. Really nice shortcut to be able to do that. You'll see there's a wireless charging pad just below that, And surrounding the shifter is more carbon fiber, definitely gives it a great look. As I mentioned, this is the 6-speed manual, so it's going to be really nice to get this out on the road. You don't see too many sedans that have the manual. We have rev matching along with traction control and different driving modes. So you can use that button on the steering wheel, or you can use this one to go to snow and ice. You have track, there's also sport. So you can go through all of these just depending on how you'd like to drive it. And then again, use the one on the steering wheel if needed. You'll see there's a little bit of storage space behind a V logo. We have 2 cup holders, and then making our way to the center armrest. If I open this up, you'll see there's a good amount of storage space for any items, along with some auxiliaries on the front section. And then looking at the glove box, definitely plenty of room for all of that information. We'll take one last look at these seats. Really nice bolstering support. I love the white piping running down them. And then up top, you can see the garage door buttons, as well as the dome lights, and we have the OnStar call buttons too. And now as we work our way to the back seats, we have that same button on the inside of the door handle, so you can unlock this vehicle from the back seats, which makes it very convenient. You'll see the door panels finish off just like up front with more of that carbon fiber, and we do have the AKG audio sound system. And at 5'10", it's time to hop into the back seats. I have the front seat currently set at my height. I have plenty of room for my feet and my legs. You'll see we have some storage pockets behind both front seats, and my head is just up against the headliner, but these are very comfortable seats. I could definitely be back here for a long period of time. Right in the middle, there is an armrest, which also has 2 cup holders in it, and these back seats do have a 40-20-40 split, so you can fold these down if you need some extra interior storage. Right in the middle, you can see 2 air vents along with a 12 volt and a USB-C. And then the trim piece just above it comes to a point making a V, which is a nice subtle touch to see. And last up, we'll take a look at the trunk storage space. So if I just double tap the button on the key fob, that will automatically open up. You can use the button on the trunk lid itself. But now once in the back, you can see there's actually a decent amount of storage with the back seats up. There's a really nice flat surface, so you can put in any items that you'd like to. Over on the passenger side, you can see there's a little storage bin. And then over on the driver's side, we do have access to the battery. And then you can fold these seats down, as I mentioned earlier. You can see just how much more storage space there is, making this a practical sedan. And then underneath the floor, you can see some more toolkits, along with a little bit of extra storage space if needed. And then we have one grab handle up top, making this very easy to close. All right, so now setting off in the all-new 2022 Cadillac CT5 V Blackwing. Brian is joining me because this might be the only Blackwing, especially with the 6-speed manual, that we're going to be able to check out. Yeah. So this has been a pretty sweet luxury sedan, but it also is pretty much a sleeper too. Oh yeah. Because we have so much horsepower, and right now we're just in normal mode. So it's just like we're driving.
It feels like a Cadillac.
Yeah, it's been very comfortable and quiet so far.
Yeah, very smooth.
Even coming around this turn, just going at the normal speed here, seems to handle pretty well. But I think we need to push on this V mode button and really listen to this. So we're gonna go into sport mode along with V. We have the rev matching, which we can use if needed. Give it a little bit of gas. Huh? It's not crazy loud.
It's pretty quiet.
I was expecting it to be a little bit louder, but that wasn't even anything crazy. And you can definitely feel that this wants to keep going.
What engine is it, supercharged?
This is a 6.2 liter supercharged V8. Wow. We have well over 600 horsepower and torque. Let's see if the rev matching does work.
Yeah, it's much smoother. Wow. Very smooth power delivery.
Yeah, really.
And the ride is amazing. I'm assuming magnetic ride?
That I don't know, to be honest.
Most likely.
We don't have the window sticker for it, but this is surprisingly fun to drive.
It feels almost like an M3 competitor, I would say. Because you get a twin turbo 6-cylinder in that one.
Yeah.
Similar sizing, kind of maybe in between an M3 and an M5.
It's a little bit small in the back, but it's not uncomfortable.
So I guess the M3 manual is the biggest competitor.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely cool to see all the different drive modes. So yeah, suspension, there's 2 different drive modes as well.
Yeah, this is your first time being in it.
Yeah, I've never.
With me doing the review here.
Visibility looks pretty good to see out of.
When you have your mirrors there properly adjusted, they actually have a point to them like a V. We have a lot of V shapes throughout this car, which is a nice touch.
Yeah, it actually looks like a Cadillac logo.
Yeah.
It's pretty neat.
But over my right shoulder there, pillar's not all that bulky. Left shoulder, I can see out of that window there.
The fit and finish seems nice. The leather on the dashboard and everything. I mean, it's almost 6-figure Cadillac.
Yeah.
So yeah, it should be pretty nice in here.
Depending on options you go with, starts right around 85. I think you can also get carbon ceramics if you want. I actually drove the CT4 V Blackwing, which I wanted to talk about. That had the 10-speed automatic in it, and honestly, I didn't feel like that lived up to the V Blackwing badge.
Yeah.
Like it didn't feel, it just felt like a little bit sporty. Maybe it had some extra aero kit on it or something like that, but the power just didn't feel like it was a V Blackwing. This, as we get in a second.
Yeah, and that's not even getting crazy in the revs. Wow.
I mean, we're only going to like 3,000.
Yeah, I can't imagine ringing it out.
This goes up to right around 4,500, 5,000. You can go a little bit higher than that if you want to. But
nice.
Yeah, comparing the 4 to the 5, this is what everybody wants. You want the CT5 V Blackwing.
This is the real one.
And you want the 6-speed manual. It is so smooth to drive. Shifter is the clutch pedal is very light. Shifter is really smooth. Nice. So you're gonna like this.
All right, so now driving this, I don't think I've really ever driven a Cadillac car.
I mainly do more of those reviews, but honestly, just with the few accelerations that we did, this is definitely sweet.
That is one of the easiest shifters.
I know,
and it's
right?
cool because it's a luxury car. Normally you think, automatic.
Yeah.
But I would hands down get this. It's so effortless. The clutch got some good weight to it.
Yeah.
And the shifter is so easy to perfectly select your gear. As far as normal comfort, I mean, of course, it's a Cadillac. It better be comfortable. Seats feel pretty good. Have a lot of adjustment. This is cool. It's like,
isn't it sweet?
It's like an M3, but a little bit different take on it. Man, I love the shifter. That is amazing.
So give it a small acceleration, see what you think.
Good solid sound.
I know, right?
Wow.
Being supercharged, you just have that power like all the time there.
I mean, that was half throttle, like 4,000 RPM barely.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, this is fast. How much does it weigh?
It's like 4,100 pounds. Man. It'll do 0 to 60, I think I said in the mid 3s. So I mean, it's a competitive, ultra luxurious supercar, like super sedan, if you want to call it.
It really feels, I almost feel like it feels more solid and refined than the BMW, which is crazy. Yeah. With the M3, I guess it's slightly less expensive. They're closer to like 80 grand loaded.
So
this is a cool blend then.
Honestly, if I really wanted a manual sedan, this is not a bad, this is probably in the top 2.
This and the M3 are your best bet, but there's something about this that feels very solid, which I love it. I feel like, I guess Cadillac did something extra because it's not just a GM, underneath.
Right.
Like a lot of GM cars are all kind of the same, but there is something special about this feeling.
I think we have a lot of like sound deadening. I mean, you can hear the exhaust.
Yeah.
And for what it is, being a Cadillac ultra luxurious, you can still hear it, but it's crazy.
This is cool. It's got a unique feeling where it's fluid.
Yeah.
But
that's definitely awesome.
I can't imagine modifying it, tuning it. Oh my gosh.
All the carbon, and you can still, this one's not fully spec'd. Yeah. So there's still a few different goodies that you can get for the exterior if you want to.
The brakes also do a really good job pulling it down, even for being, I guess, the base brakes that you get.
Yeah. Yeah.
It seems like a very well-balanced sports sedan that has kind of that American muscle to it, but there's a European refinement I'm feeling in this that, I mean, I haven't been too much around the Cadillacs, but there's a refinement that is really outstanding, quite honestly. Like,
this is nice.
This is really nice.
I love the center screen too. It's really easy to go through.
And there's all the leather feels really good.
Not a whole lot of buttons either, especially other than the 6-speed manual. It's nice that it's not surrounded with all these buttons. It gives you a good layout.
And yeah, the handling and everything, I feel like it carries its weight really nicely. Steering input, pretty tight and sharp. Really responsive feeling.
Yeah.
Man.
But this is sweet.
It's a cool car.
Yeah. I think that's going to wrap it up though, you guys. We got to give this back.
Unfortunately.
Once again, huge shout out to Carolina Auto Direct for providing this sedan for us today. Check out their website, you guys, because they have a lot of awesome pre-owned inventory that we've been able to check out and review. We'll link some of those down in the description. If you enjoyed today's video, give it a huge thumbs up and smash that subscribe button so you can stay up to date on our daily uploads. We'll see you guys in the next video.